We started the concert series in 1984 at Cabrillo College, so we are in operation now for 28 years. And since I am a pianist, we have focused a lot on piano performers. There's something about the piano recital that distinguishes it from every other kind of concert. It's a classic. It's an opportunity for a single individual to step in front of an audience and to provide a variety of musical colors for an entire evening. Because the piano itself has the capability of so many nuances, tonal colors. It's just a wonderful meeting of the individual and the great music that's written for the piano. I think a lot of people think that they need to have special skills in order to appreciate classical music. Mm-hmm. But I found as a teacher at Cabrillo that when I asked my students questions about what they heard, they came back with some revealing observations about the music itself without my having to teach them any technique about listening. And that's what I encourage people to do, is have this attitude of curiosity and wonder about what the music they're listening to actually is and how it affects them, so that there is an intimate relationship between the music and the individual and their own personal experience, which is completely valid.
Who do you find is your audience?
This is an extremely vibrant community for the arts and especially for music. Mm-hmm. We can hardly find a weekend when our concerts don't conflict with another concert. Mm-hmm. So, and then there are of course those piano aficionados like myself, and piano teachers and piano students. And I encourage anyone who studies the piano or any musical instrument
learn?
I came from a typical Italian family. Father loved music, and so he made sure I took music lessons from a very early age, and I studied accordion. And I became quite adept at it and won a number of statewide competitions. I think it's a beautiful instrument, by the way. It's a very expressive instrument, and it's also a wind instrument, so that you can control the flow of the air through the instrument and phrase just as a singer would phrase. But I studied piano at San Jose State, so my life was set in music, and piano was what I took up at that time. And then I went on to graduate school and got my doctorate. And I started teaching at Cabrillo in 1970. I played the Mozart Concerto K450 in B flat, number 15. And it's a very late concerto by Mozart. And it's one of the most joyous of all of his concertos. It's just full of humor and beautiful melodies. And it's really fun to play. And the orchestra I played with, the Cadenza Orchestra, conducted by Maya Barsak, is one of the finest chamber orchestras in the area. She's a superb conductor, and she has a wonderful collection of players. The composers like Schumann and Schubert had this great love of nature, and they incorporated the sounds of nature into their music, and often it was the piano that painted the backdrop of the rippling brook or the rustling of the leaves. And so the pianist has a really significant part in that kind of music. You know, I love to talk about Mozart, and I can show how the simplest idea can be extended and developed to create all these different kinds of relationships and complexities in the music. And when an individual or when a listener can identify that motive or that fundamental kernel of that piece and they follow it through the entire piece, it becomes a really fascinating journey that I think anybody can follow. And so I've really enjoyed going into the schools in our local system and showed students, and you can see the light in their eyes when they get it, when they hear that, when they're really there in that moment with the performer. As much as I love music, I also love to talk about it.
Okay,
Maybe you
good.
can tell, and to explain it and to analyze it. And that's a whole nother area of appreciation, is understanding how it's put together and how it fits and expresses the historical periods that the music came from. There's nothing like it. When you're playing well, and you know the audience is with you. You know that they're listening to what you're doing, and that we're all participating in this experience together. It's it's indescribable. And then there is the rapport that you have with other musicians when you're playing chamber music or accompanying someone. It's an unspoken language, a very intimate understanding. We want to enhance the quality of life by making people aware of the value of the arts also, in whatever way we can. We present 4 to 6 concerts per year. We get these wonderful opportunities to present these artists who are coming through our area, who are world-class, who have played in the great concert halls in Paris and London and New York and San Francisco. And we have some beautiful places for them to play in Santa Cruz now. The Performing Arts Complex at Cabrillo College is where we often have concerts. We also present concerts at the First Congregational Church, which is a beautiful place to listen to music. And so I'm contacted by managements from all around the world. And also on that concert, we featured Rebecca Jackson, who played 2 romances for violin solo and chamber orchestra. And she is a very fine musician who was trained at Juilliard. I think that the arts reveal more about the time than any historical account of that period. You know, describing the art is one thing, but when you see it, when you hear it, and you feel it, you get into the mind, the heart, and the soul of the people who created it and the environment in which they live. There was a new work called Trinitas, and it was a young composer who teaches at Santa Clara University. She's Argentinian, I believe, and she wrote a very beautiful piece for orchestra, and it was extremely well received. That's always the challenge to a composer, is to create something that's significant, that's meaningful, and different. And every composer, I think, wants to be understood and wants their music to be received. But that's one of our goals. Is to get out into the community and show young people how exciting classical music can be. a goal and our mission is to create a music institute that is distinguished by the quality of the participants, who want to have a professional career, but also that it has a comprehensive curriculum that addresses the whole musician, so that they have experiences in drama, in poetry, and some of the other visual arts, and that they embrace also the business of being a performer, an artist.
It is hard to be both.
Absolutely. It's an extreme talent challenge, but if it's in your blood, you have no choice. I would never consider anything else. There's no substitute for when you have this kind of passion and that experience that is, can't be matched any other way.
would it be easier if people were in LA or New York to be that professional?
Well, you're in an environment where you're surrounded with other people in the same field. There's so much to learn by observing other musicians and hanging out with them. You know, I mean, that's another experience in itself, is to hang out with musicians and hear their stories of their teachers, their experiences, the concerts they've given. And so I think that's very important. That's another reason why I founded this series, because when I was a graduate student at USC in Los Angeles, I was, you know, privileged to hear some of the great artists in the world who came to the Music Center in Los Angeles. And then when I came back to Santa Cruz, I have felt, you know, our community isn't always have that opportunity.
So what's special about Santa Cruz for you?
There's so much to love about Santa Cruz. It's a magnificent day today. There's so much art and music. There's so many people who are engaged in their artistic pursuits to share with. And it's a very spiritual community. So and we have one of the most beautiful concert venues in the whole state at Cabrillo College. And our artists love to perform there, and our audiences love to attend concerts there. You know, I mean, what more could you ask for?